Hello and God bless you. I'm Gene Maddox, and right behind the camera is Frank Saver, and we are in the book of Esther, and we are in chapter 1, verse 1. And what we are going to see here, as I looked through the book, I found there are at least three major heroes in the book and one really bad guy. There has to be the bad guy, right? Has to be that. So here we go. Now it took place, chapter 1, verse 1, in the days of Ahasuerus, the Ahasuerus who reigned from India to Ethiopia, over 127 provinces. Now you know where India is. Ethiopia is in northern Africa. This was a large empire, 127 provinces. Ahasuerus at this point is, as king, the most powerful man in the world. So in those days, as King Ahasuerus sat on his royal throne, which was at the citadel in Susa. Susa is one of the capitals of Persia. In the third year of his reign, he gave a banquet, and this was quite a banquet, okay, for all his princes and attendants, the army officers of Persia and Media, the nobles and the princes of his provinces being in his presence. And he displayed the riches of his royal glory and the splendor of his great majesty for many days, 180 days. This is a proud man. We're talking sin of pride here, big time. He wants everyone to see what he's got. All right? When these days were completed, that is, of displaying all his glory, he gives this, bear with me, the king gave a banquet lasting 7 days for all the people who were present at the citadel in Susa, from the greatest to the least. So everyone's invited to this. This had to be one incredible banquet. In the court of the garden of the king's palace, there were hangings of fine white and violet linen, held by cords of fine purple linen, on silver rings, and marble columns and couches of gold and silver, on a mosaic pavement of marble, mother of pearl, and precious stones. Drinks were served in golden vessels of various kinds, and the royal wine was plentiful, according to the king's bounty. You could get as drunk as you wanted to. The drinking was done according to the law. And I'm going to stop there for a second because this is important. You may have heard the expression, the laws of the Medes and the Persians. And the Medes and the Persians in that empire, they had a law for everything. And from what I've studied, it was part of this hyper bureaucracy that would eventually help to bring this empire down. That wasn't all that happened. I think Alexander the Great happened to it as well. But this hyper bureaucracy of the laws of the Medes and the Persians, and these laws were virtually impossible to change. And that's not good. If it's the 10 Commandments, yeah, we don't want to change them. If the God of heaven has given the laws, we don't want to change them. But when they are human-made laws, humans have a knack for making laws that are either bad or at least partially bad. So you better be able to change them. But the laws of the Medes and the Persians were basically, written in stone. Okay? So the drinking was done according to the law. There was no compulsion, for so the king had given orders to each official of his household that he should do according to the desires of each person. Now, Queen Vashti also gave a banquet for the woman in the palace which belonged to King Ahasuerus. So that this Queen Vashti is going to become very significant in just a moment. On the seventh day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, I think that means when he was drunk, he commanded a number of names here, the 7 eunuchs who served in the presence of the king, now watch this, to bring Queen Vashti before the king with her royal crown in order to display her beauty to the people and the princes, for she was very beautiful. This was a beautiful lady, and I think we would probably call her today a trophy wife. Boy, the king has already displayed all of his riches, his glory. There's nothing left, but he wants everyone to see what he's got for a wife. And he is going to display Vashti probably in some very sexual outfit before all these people. He wants to show her off. Okay? So let's see what happens. But Queen Vashti refused to come at the king's command, and the king became very angry, and his wrath burned within him. Well, this banquet has been going really good for quite a while now. And the king has shown everything off, and everybody is just getting more and more and more impressed with the king. Wow. And then the king he's going to top the whole shebang off by bringing the queen in and showing everyone how gorgeous she is. And she says no. She refuses it. And I mentioned there were 3 heroes in the story. Queen Vashti is one of them. She refuses to be used. She refuses. This is obviously a lady of great dignity. She is not going to be the king's toy that he can just show off wherever he wants to. But oh boy, now the king, I'm sure, made this request certain that she would say yes. I mean, of course, you say yes to the king, don't you? That's what you do. And this queen has had the privilege of being the king's wife. Doesn't she know how grateful she should be for that? So of course she's going to come and parade herself in front of the people, except that she's not. And now before all of the people, the king is refused. The king is refused. So I want to stop there today, because this refusal, this act of righteousness, becomes so very important to the rest of the story. And this is where we see God at work. We're going to see 3 people in the story who obey God radically. Vashti is one of them. She is going to, you say, well, how she's a pagan, how could she know right from wrong? And the Apostle Paul talks in the book of Romans about the law written on the heart, that we are all born with the law written on the heart. We are born with a genuine sense of right from wrong. And Queen Vashti's heart has not been ruined yet, and she realizes this is wrong. I will not participate in it. I will not be used. I will not be abused. And she refuses it. It's not going to happen. Now, at this point, I think she's probably putting her life on the line or close to it. But she makes a stand, and she doesn't budge. And we need to learn from Queen Vashti. She had so much to lose. She was the queen. She was probably the most powerful woman on the face of the earth, being this king's wife. But she stands against her husband, against the king, and she stands for righteousness. And it's going to get her in trouble. You know it is. But when we stand for righteousness, God blesses. Probably in ways we can never imagine, in ways we can't see. And I don't know if Vashti was ever able to finally see the result of her righteous stand. I hope she was. She very well could have been. But is there a certain area of righteousness that you and I need to stand for and not be silent about, even if it upsets key, powerful people? Okay? I would remind you of the words, and I think it's Acts 5:32, where Peter says, we must obey God rather than man. And that's what Vashti's doing here. She is obeying righteousness. And as a result of that, the rest of the book can go in a very important direction. She doesn't realize that. She has no idea how God's going to use what she's done. Just as you and I have no idea how God's going to use what we do when we obey him radically. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. We'll see what happens next tomorrow. Bye-bye.